Welcome back to the American Armory Podcast, otherwise known as TAAP. I'm Chad.
I'm Michael.
And we've got another episode for you, but first, I see you're wearing some new merch.
Yeah, double tap. What do you think?
I like that one.
You like this one?
And I've got the flag with the American Armory Podcast.
Yeah, I like the flag background on that. That's nice.
Yeah, it jumps off the black.
Yep. Now, I'm not wearing the hat because I don't wear hats inside.
No, I wear hats all the time.
I know.
So, but yeah, there is still the giveaway.
Oh, yeah. These are a couple of shirts that are on the list, right?
Yep,
All
they
right.
definitely are. If you want to enter in the giveaway, all you need to do is on YouTube, like this, comment, subscribe to our channel, and share.
Yeah. You do all those things, and then when you put in the comment, put in what you're wanting. Hey, I like the American flag, or hey, double tap was really cool. I want that shirt.
Or comment something you'd like to see us do in the future.
Yeah.
So, we're looking for ideas from everyone as well. We've got some ideas in our catalog as far as things we're planning to do. But 4 easy things, doesn't cost you a penny, and you can get merch before anyone else.
Yeah, that's easy. Now, and we're going to be doing something different today, too.
We are going to be doing something different.
So, and this is another thing where if you like us doing this kind of stuff, comment. Maybe we'll do some more of this.
Let us know. So, I've been spending a lot of time the last week or two watching videos, which you and I both watch a good share of videos, but I've been watching specific videos.
Okay.
Videos
Whoa. Is those videos appropriate?
Yes, they are. I wouldn't watch any filth.
Just checking. I didn't know what we were getting into. I didn't know what show you were going to.
When that music
Viewer
plays,
discretion advised.
Yeah. We're not having the pizza boy show up.
And I got money, so I can pay him.
So what I've been watching are things that potentially pertain to us quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
And by us, I mean those of us who like to exercise our constitutional rights.
Oh, okay.
Been watching a lot of videos of police interaction with civilians.
Oh, jeez.
Or more accurately, the inability of a lot of civilians to interact with police.
That's a rabbit hole.
Yes. Oh, yes, it is.
I went down that rabbit hole.
I've been down it before, but this time I went down it and started looking for things to save and pull over.
I had to ask Jenny for directions.
Oh, poor little Jenny.
Yep. Couldn't find Alice. She was already gone.
Yeah. So, found one, and the reason I wanted to do this one first is there's a lot that goes wrong in this as far as one of the two civilians involved. There's also, well, it's not completely right. There's a lot that I think does go right as far as the other civilian involved and the police. Are there some issues? Yeah, and I showed you this video earlier, and we spent the last probably 2.5, 3 hours discussing this and picking it apart. We're not going to take near that long here, but we've got some differing views on things.
We do.
Which, surprisingly enough, as much as alike as we are, we're finding a lot of differences now. Not big differences, but subtle differences.
I think that's what makes a good relationship and a good friendship, because I don't want yes men in my life.
No, neither do I. And I think that dialogue, we learn from each other and see other points of view. But without any further ado, because we're already probably 5-6 minutes in, why don't we get to the big board here and start playing this video?
All right.
So this is out of Wisconsin. I forget it says right there, Belvedere, Wisconsin. Deputy clocks someone speeding. We're going to let this play a little bit, pause it, come back to it. But let's get it started.
Deputy was on patrol when he observed a speeding vehicle in Belvedere, Wisconsin. He activated his radar unit, which clocked the vehicle traveling 66 miles per hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. When a traffic stop was initiated, it appeared the vehicle accelerated to get away from the deputy with speeds exceeding 120 miles per hour.
I'm going to pause it there for a second.
Yeah.
And go ahead and bring us in. And so officer tags him doing 11 over.
Right.
And his first thought is, I'm going to gun it. So that's mistake number one right there.
Yeah.
At least for the driver of the vehicle.
So let's look at that mistake.
Okay.
11 miles an hour over is a ticket.
Right. and not a real big
getting
ticket.
a ticket, and yeah.
Inconvenience for 45 minutes.
I'm willing to
as,
bet.
As long as you don't have wants or warrants.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet you're going to you could take that stop or traffic class, whatever, to get the points off.
Right.
So at this point, going from I'm going to get a ticket to accelerating to that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're getting into felony range. You went from traffic ticket to felony.
Well, you got an easy evading and eluding right there.
Reckless endangerment.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like snow's on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So weather conditions could be poor, which kind of could play into anything there.
Right. And like you said, it's a speeding ticket and not a real big one. I know for a fact that I have been clocked going faster than this and pulled over. And here's the thing. I can't speak for all cops because not everyone is the same. But general rule of thumb is, and I think it's like this in most jurisdictions, that speed over is broken down into blocks. So if you're in this block, it's all this fee. If you're in this block, it's all this fee.
It's like 6 to 10, 11 to 15, and then 15 over. Yeah.
So if he's doing 11 over and he pulls over and he's cool with the cop, that cop might bump it down to a 6 to 10.
Yeah.
I had that happen to me before.
I don't speed.
Yes, you do. I've seen you speed.
I don't admit on camera that I speed.
I'll admit it for you. But yeah, this was a situation where, as long as he doesn't have wants or warrants, 30, 45 minutes out of his life at the most, and he's back on his way with a citation.
Right.
So let's go back up to the big board.
The 24-year-old male driver, later identified as Jordan, continued to flee at high speeds while driving recklessly.
You see that slide?
Yeah, that's he had to slow down a good bit, and the officer slowed down a decent amount to take that turn. There was definitely something on the road there.
Yeah.
And fortunately, the oncoming traffic, I don't know if you caught it, but the oncoming traffic pulled over the shoulder and stopped.
Yeah.
If that first vehicle didn't, there's a good chance he would have T-boned one of them.
Oh, yeah. So when you see emergency vehicles going around, this is exactly why you want to pull over and stop. I don't care if you say, they're going the other direction. Someone turns in front of you, wham.
Right. And, I think in most places it's kind of the law where if there's an emergency vehicle, you need to pull over. If not, stop, slow way down so that they can get past.
All right.
So let's go back to the big board and watch a little more of this.
The sheriff soon advised to terminate the pursuit due to its nearing city limits.
Yeah.
So, a couple of things there.
If you're driving a police department and you have stinky ass people in the car with you, make sure you get the little pine cone hanger there.
The little air freshener?
The air freshener, because you're in that car for a long time.
Yeah.
All right.
So, you watch that. I don't know if you paid attention to the signs, and you could see his speedometer a couple of times. These are back country roads.
Yep.
We both ride motorcycle, and we like to ride the backcountry roads.
We do.
And oftentimes, there are issues with backcountry road. They may not be in the best repair. And if you caught the sign, they went through one of those ones where you're going to make a right, and then you're going to make a left.
Yep.
And it said 20 miles an hour.
Yep.
Now, I don't know anyone that does 20 miles an hour over those. But on a motorcycle, which is far more maneuverable than either of these vehicles, I still don't go as fast as they do on those.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Again, I have to say weather.
Yeah.
You're not catching me on a motorcycle in this weather for this.
We're not catching you on a motorcycle if it's below 80 degrees.
That's true.
I'll ride in the cold, but
no. And now they're terminating the pursuit.
Right, because they're entering a small town. So they terminate the pursuit. Now, what I like that they do here, because this guy has both fleeing and eluding and driving recklessly and all these things that could be dangerous, they don't cut off the pursuit. They continue to keep him in visual eyesight at a relatively safe speed.
Yeah, so they slow down and I'm sure the guy's not going that fast through town.
Right.
Obviously, if they slow down, he slowed down as well. I guess they're entering a small town. So that small town didn't have a police department or anybody that could radio in to, I don't know.
I'm assuming it's like here where a lot of the rural towns around here don't have their own police department. They use the county sheriff.
Okay.
Or surrounding police departments.
And Barney Fife was in another location.
Yes.
Probably dealing with another drunk.
Yeah.
All right.
All units switch back off and then look for the vehicle. Go through town and look for it.
All I can see is that air freshener.
They're going past 13th Street right now.
Sorry.
My lights and sirens turned off this time. They're turning left on the Coney Road. Left on the Coney Road towards Cochrane.
As the deputy continued in the direction of Jordan, he was observed running through many stop signs.
They're going past the fire station right now. They're at the stop sign of O and North Main. Turned right, heading into Cochrane.
They're still booking
Once
it pretty
he went
good.
beyond the city limits, the pursuit was reinitiated.
What's your speed with him?
I'm currently doing 40. They're turning left onto 5th Street, heading to 35.
10-4, you can continue his pursuit then.
10-4.
So once they got out of town, he
Left on 35.
reinitiates the
Northbound.
pursuit. And back onto a highway at least.
They're still northbound. They're coming up on Seaford Hill.
I'm at Seaford Hill now.
So we're getting perspective from two different officers here.
Right.
They're turning on Seaford Hill.
92 is at Cypress Hill.
Going through the field, Mitch.
When his vehicle was stopped, he quickly backed into one of the squad cars and proceeded to flee again. At the same time, the deputy noticed another occupant inside the car.
Okay, that's the
Spring Victor 7935. Adam Spring Victor 7935.
Right there.
1050.
So I don't know why the driver went in there, stopped, and turned around, other than, he may have realized that road's not going to lead him anywhere, so he tried to get out of there, which the field and the guardrails on the side probably caused some difficulty.
Okay.
But once he stopped, they tried to box him in, and he backed into the, pull up the picture-in-picture here real quick. He backed into the dash cam that we're looking through for this officer and disabled the vehicle.
Now, when you say disabled, it means it either stalled it or possibly disabling could be for just a moment too.
Right. Yeah, not in this case it wasn't permanently disabled. I think he just essentially caused the engine to stop.
Yeah.
Because this officer takes a couple of seconds and he's able to rejoin the pursuit. Now, he almost hits the other officer as well trying to get through there.
Yeah, and here's I think where the issue is I think the other officer coming around was just a hair too late coming in there to block it in.
Yeah, I think he pulled forward a little bit too much because he's got an escape route, right there off to the left side back onto the highway.
Now that I'm going to contribute that to, it looks like it's pretty snowy, and I'm going to gather vehicles slide when they hit, especially right where there are. It looks like they hit a little wet spot and it might have slid.
Well, and I would also say the officer driving that vehicle that's trying to block the roadway doesn't necessarily know which way this guy is going to try and go.
Yeah.
And I don't think he had the room to pull in and completely block it, so he had to make a guess, and
yeah,
this guy had enough time to pick either left or right depending on how far that officer went.
Now, I know the video is kind of small if you're watching. Just keep that in mind. You could zoom in. If you zoom into the car, and what I'm looking at there, I just see two headrests. So I don't see, from this perspective, it doesn't look like the two occupants are even really communicating, or the passenger's not leaning over, the driver's not leaning over. It looks like they're both kind of set in doing just sitting in their seats.
Right, and I'm sure from this view, it's the officer trying to block him in that realized there was a passenger in the vehicle.
Okay.
Just because he's got the good eyesight into
Right.
that vehicle. Let's go back up to the big board and play this some more.
By the way, people, this is not what you want to do.
No.
There's two males in the car. They're southbound now.
So he's back up and running.
No, he's still
Oh,
stalled
he's
out.
still-
The other one pulled a U.
Oh, but there's still two cars there.
No, there's
Yeah?
because they're switching the camera footage.
Oh, okay,
here.
okay.
There's only the
He
two.
just logged that they struck.
So he got it running again.
Yeah.
So he was disabled, but only for a moment.
Right, I'm guessing he had to open up the door, kill the engine completely as far as the ignition. Put it,
Maybe roll it to get it, just to
Absolutely,
re-engage.
back slammed right into me.
Yes, please.
kind of like if you ever laid down a motorcycle, you have to stand it up, put the kickstand down, something like that, where you have to restart that sequence.
Yeah, you can see the road is not very good.
No.
10-4, get him heading
Not
this
horrible,
way.
but there's definitely some.
There's salt, sand, something on the road, and in that bad a weather condition, it's going to be a problem.
Well, at this speed, it's going to be a problem. It's,
That's where I'll try it here.
Run that plate again, get it.
Alma, it's Wisconsin. Adam Frank Victor 7935. Adam Frank Victor 7935. I'm right behind him now.
At least he didn't lose his air pressure in that accident.
now, we can't see their speedometer here, but they're moving at a good clip.
Oh yeah, they passed that guy like he was
Well,
standing
access
still.
the posted limits.
At this point, what would you guess they're going?
They're probably going 70, 80.
And that's why I would say it's 80 plus. They're definitely going too fast to try and pit
So
it.
he's, well, it looks like he's trying to, he's trying to
They're
get
trying
in
to
front of
box
them. Okay. It's hard to pit on these roads. You can't, it's not a good situation.
Well, and at these speeds as well, it's unsafe to pit for both the officer and the other vehicle.
So, pause it real quick. I just saw a mistake.
Okay, well, let's back this up a second then.
When that police officer overtook him, he took the opportunity to turn. So I think in this situation, there's no point for that police officer to get in front of him here. Because if you watch it, this is where the mistake was.
Watch out, they might turn there.
That officer temporarily took himself out of the pursuit.
Correct. And you can see him slide right there.
Yeah, he almost dumped it going through that slide. You could.
Yeah.
Let's go back and just one more time look at that section.
He wasn't anticipating to turn there. He took that opportunity. He was aware that police officer overtook him, and he took him out of the pursuit.
Because here he is overtaken. Now, I would guess that what the plan was is to overtake him, box him in, and kind of slowly slow him down. Did the officer necessarily know that road was coming up and at the speeds they're going? Did he think he could do that? No, but right there, I am almost surprised that this white vehicle didn't either slide off the roadway or roll itself with how much it was sliding there.
So I would, if I were to put myself in that police officer
Bring us to
role.
picture.
We are.
Oh, okay.
If I put myself in that position, when that turned, that second police officer was right on him. I would have nudged that back. I would have used. I would have used a maneuver. Yeah, I would have done. Now I don't think that's called a pit maneuver. When that,
No,
I think.
But would have done the same thing. You essentially spin the vehicle and.
Regardless, you're going to do a graceful crash.
Yes.
And they're trained for that. I think if you would have kicked it over into that side, I think that could have ended the pursuit right here.
Right.
I could see the pursuit ending right here.
Now, this officer may have been going too fast to do that gracefully without completely wrecking both of them.
If you back it up, you could see that was actually pretty good. Watch how this goes through. He's in a good position to do something.
Right, he is, but I'm more concerned about the speed because he's still moving at a good speed. That guy brakes hard to make the turn. I don't know if the
I think the police officer's not going that fast.
Yeah, he might not be, but I just don't know if he felt that was a good, considering the road conditions and the speed, I don't know if he felt that was a good time to do it.
See, I wasn't there, so it's hard to say that.
Right.
But if the vehicle's already sliding at an angle,
it doesn't take much.
Much to nudge it.
No, he could have clipped just the very back end of him and spun him out. See if we can freeze it right where they're doing that. If I can time this.
Watch out, they might turn there. Yeah.
Take it, Prairie Moon.
Right there.
Okay, pull this up big screen, Mikey. Okay,
so
this is...
If he'd have hit the back driver's corner and just kind of pushed that farther around...
Can you slow down the video speed here?
Unfortunately, I can't.
Oh.
Okay. I wish I could.
Okay.
I have to figure out how to... Well, long story, but that's something I'm working on.
Okay.
So we can do that. But here, I think if he would have hit from mid-license plate to the driver's side, so mid-license plate left,
yeah,
I think he could have possibly safely spun him. And here's the thing. At this point, I don't know necessarily that officers are as concerned about the occupants in that vehicle as ending the chase.
There's a lot of dangerous spots that I saw on this where the passing. This is this area right here that they have is a very nice. If you're going to do something, you're going to have zero casualty from anybody else.
Right. Now, only casualty you may have is in the vehicle that's being chased, and at this point, that's almost something that they look at and say it's acceptable to stop him from potentially doing damage to something or anyone else.
Yeah. What if Jenny's right down the street, crossing the street here?
Well, poor Jenny.
I know.
She gets splattered all over the grill.
Yeah, so let's throw it up back on the big screen here.
So, yeah, if they were to hit, and I'll use my kind of pointer here, anywhere over in here, I think he probably could have spun him safely. Now,
I think if you actually hit the other side, hit that passenger side tire, hit right there, you're going to push that, and you're going to spin them completely out. If you spin them right, even if they spin facing the other way, you have that police officer that's already stopping and coming back.
Right. Now here's the problem with this is we can Monday morning quarterback this all day long. In situations like this, there is no one right answer, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit more. But we're going to let this play a little bit longer.
I think he was primed for that position. Yeah, do you see?
It looks like he almost tried to do.
I'm not sure he capped it. They turned into prairie moon.
I think he was like, maybe, I think he hesitated.
Right. Well, I think maybe he felt he had to dump a little bit more speed before he actually made contact with it.
Hard to know
As
without the
speeds
speed.
decreased, a deputy was able to perform a pit maneuver on Jordan's vehicle.
Cell phone, Kamrowski.
Now the other thing let's watch this kid here because he hits him good there.
Yeah.
And we're going to pause it before anything else happens. The other thing that may have happened is he may know this road and know that those railroad tracks were coming up, knowing that this guy's either going to have to slow way down, or if he hits those tracks hard, he's going to get airborne and end up in the field anyway.
Okay.
So, it could be that because it doesn't look like they went real far from that one turn to here.
And they did hit him hard.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that was not a love tap by any means.
No, we'll back up a little bit to going over these railroad tracks because, and this, we both know, a lot of country roads, you have railroad tracks like this where they aren't gentle. And you've got a little bit of a hill that you go up to hit them because they're raised some. If you're doing speed, even in an SUV like this, if you're doing speed and you hit that, you'll get air. And once you get airborne, you lose control.
Perform a pit maneuver on Jordan's vehicle.
Cell phone, Kamrowski.
Yeah, at that point, the officer had enough of it. He's like, I'm done.
Yep.
Hands up! Get your hands up now!
Pause it real quick. Let's see here.
Now
Let's go picture in picture here.
Let me back it up just a touch to where it's initiated. Now here's the one downside to doing this is
Hands up!
This officer now has himself kind of boxed in. Assuming his vehicle is still running, he does have the option to either go forward, back. He did put it in park, so that's going to take an extra second to put it in gear and do something. But right now, the only thing he has shielding him if this goes real bad is his door and trying to duck down.
And it's at an angle, so I think the angles help a little bit. Now, here's my issue here, too. We've been listening to them talk the whole time, and their voices seem relatively calm.
Right.
All up until this point. And now here's where, when he starts yelling at him here, his voice is loud and raspy, if you notice that. That's adrenaline.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, and I'm sure both officers here are amped up on adrenaline.
But they went from 0 to nothing. That's not, I mean...
Well, to me, there's also a difference between radioing back to dispatch and, okay, now I have him and I need to give a loud command because his window's up, so I need to make sure he can hear me through his window and make sure he knows I'm serious, as if his sidearm doesn't mean I'm serious.
His finger is on the trigger.
Yes, he is ready to go.
That finger is on the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
That means he is ready to pull that. This person better do exactly what this police officer says. I just noticed that.
So did I. And yeah, in this situation, the officer has no idea who the people in the vehicle are,
Right.
but knows that they ran at high speeds.
It's a felony pursuit at
Right.
this point.
Yeah, it's definitely a felony pursuit. They're taking every precaution. Every officer I've talked to said their main goal at the end of the day is to get back home.
Yeah.
That's what he's making sure he's doing, because if that guy does have a gun, the driver especially, you're in danger there potentially.
But his anxiety level from right before this moment to this moment, that peaked.
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Okay.
between hitting the other vehicle in the chase and okay, now I've got them stopped and I need to make sure that they know this is something that you're going to do what I say or else.
Okay.
Definitely. And I don't fault him at this point. He's probably, quite frankly, quite pissed as well.
Right. All right, let's go forward.
He made me wreck my cruiser.
Yeah.
I took out my push bumper, which that's why most cop vehicles have push bumpers on them to protect the vehicle itself when you have to do this. So let's go a little bit further, and we're going to see the other chase vehicle, the sheriff, exit out of that.
Get your hands up
Or
now!
officer. I guess they are sheriff's deputies, so.
Show me your hand! Don't move! Don't move!
Alright, pause
Anybody in
it
the
there.
back
Hold on.
seat?
I'm going to
Don't
wait for him
move!
to open up the door and
Don't-
right there. So, I've got a couple of issues with this part.
I do too.
Not so much the officer being aggressive, because they don't know what's going on and they want to secure the scene. But this, not that he really had a great opportunity to put himself in a better position, and we kind of dissected this part a little bit. This officer didn't really have a great place to go. He is making sure that he's back far enough so that if the passenger here does anything, he's got some separation to begin with.
Yeah.
But here's the problem, and it's a no-win situation. This officer has to clear that door when he opens it, but then he doesn't really have anywhere to go. If we were to go back a little bit when he was approaching, there's a little bit of an embankment behind this officer now.
And he's standing on all snow.
Yeah, he's on if not snow, it's probably at least wet, dead grass. So it's
No, that's snow. If
well
you
up
see
there, but I think he may be back off of it a little bit.
like rewind it. Let's there. He's almost all on snow. Look at that.
He is going to.
There
be
is
all
no, and you can see right there. You can see that
embankment.
that's an embankment.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not gonna where
So-
he's standing is at the edge of the embankment.
Right. I'm going to go back to here so we can see. Right here, there's an embankment going off to a ditch, which again is
Right.
very common with country roads. In fact, the railroad tracks are probably right here off to his left.
Right.
But here's the big problem he has is he doesn't have a good safe spot at this point when he opens that door.
No, and so if you leave it here, go big screen here. I want to point out a couple things here. So where he's at, moving forward is a dumb idea. That tire is pointed right at him. If that vehicle starts moving, it's going to move toward him. It's not bent the other way. If you look at that tire is pointed right at him.
Now, I don't know if there's enough room in here in this gap for this vehicle to be able to make the turn and not hit the cruiser first.
Well, but if that's in snow and it starts to move forward and that cruiser starts to push, it's going to push the car over right in this officer's path.
Right, and this is again where there's no right answer in this. There's you can Monday morning quarterback it all you want, and as far as he could have done this, could have done that. They're both hopped up on adrenaline, and right now I think their main goal is to secure whoever happens to be inside the vehicle.
So here's what, I guess from this point of view, this is about as close as I want to get to an unknown vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm going to assume I'm hoping the vehicle is disabled and can't move. I don't want to move forward because if they do come up, I want them to hit the vehicle, not me. I would start ordering them out of the vehicle at this point.
So and here's the other thing as far as the white GMC there is we don't have audio to know is that engine still running because it could be completely disabled. We don't know if they broke the rear left axle when he hit him and spun him.
Right.
or flattened the tire, or what may have happened.
We don't know if it's stalled. So
Right.
it looks like it might be semi-disabled, but we've if you've spent any time on YouTube, you know, and you've watched videos going, how the hell can that car still move?
Right. Right.
So at this point, I probably wouldn't do what the police officer did, but okay,
And
he did it.
if anything, if I move around towards this, he takes a more direct path. I think I may move down into this ravine and then come up at it from the side just to take myself out of that path more. Is that the best option? No, but at this point, he doesn't really have a lot of good options. From the officer standpoint and from a firearms enthusiast and ballistics enthusiast standpoint, here is my other big problem is if they do have to discharge their firearms, it's also a no-win situation because now you're discharging your 9mm because these both look like Glock 9mm.
Right.
You're firing into glass.
Right.
9mm are not known for penetrating glass. They're not known for, if they do make it through glass, continuing a straight path.
Right.
So even this officer here, that window for the driver is up. So at best, you have to go through that and hope that the round stays true in its flight.
Right.
So that's where my concern as far as ordering them out of the vehicle, because again, I've seen plenty of videos where they get ordered out of the vehicle and the occupants of the vehicle are just pretty much sitting there flipping the bird saying, nope, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
So
all right,
let's
go ahead
let
and
this
play it
a little
forward.
bit
Your
more.
head! Don't move! Don't
Part that we
move!
kind of disagree on here coming up.
Yeah.
Anybody in
That's
the
a
back
good.
seat?
That's a good view right there.
Don't move!
I'm not.
Don't move!
Hey, I want to let you know right now.
Yeah. Don't move
No, I'm
your
not.
hands.
There's a gun in my pocket.
He advises that.
Now, if you didn't hear what he said, the passenger said, I have a gun in my pocket. Come back to us real quick. So here's kind of where we disagree.
Yeah.
I am a very black and white person, and I want everything to be known and make it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
I like him telling the officer, I have a gun in my pocket. The only thing that I would fault him for is he did move a little bit. Now, is this a threat looking at your pocket that it's in saying, I have a gun in my pocket? Not necessarily, but if this officer is too jumpy, it could cause a problem. Now, you say he should have said what?
If he's a concealed carry permit holder, which
we find out
out later he is, I think the first thing he should have said was, I'm a concealed carry permit holder, and keep his hands up. I don't like his hands positions right here. It looks like he's trying to videotape or he's trying to use the phone. And I hate to say it, but you're getting directives from police officers. That hand, that should not be in his hand. Because if you look at it, and now that we have it on a big screen here, I could kind of see the other officer in there, and it looks foggy. Now, those windows are foggy. The back windows are tinted. He's at an angle, and there's some dust debris out there. That other officer doesn't quite know what's in the hand.
Right. Now, also, one thing I'll say as far as a disclaimer in a lot of these videos that I've watched, even with clear windshield, clear driver and passenger front windows, body cam doesn't always pick things up as clear as your eyes do.
Right.
So there's going to be some blur there. I'm sure this officer looking at his chase partner over here can see that much clearer than what we're seeing it through body cam.
Well, but you also got to understand that there's also perspective here too. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's 4 people, and I could look at here, and I could see the over here a little bit. But we've all heard the story about the guy pulled a wallet out of the back of his pocket, and the cop thought it was a gun.
Right.
You don't have anything in your hands, I guess, is the first thing I would recommend. If they pull you over, you need to put your shit down and not do this.
Right. Now, and it comes out, he was very scared and thought that the police were just going to open up fire on them, so he wanted to record it. In that situation, I'd have had this recording well before this point so I could document what happened in the vehicle. The police are going to seize your phone until they can get that video from you.
Right.
But once we got pit, I'd have probably either dropped it in my lap or put it on the dash.
Yeah.
Something so that it's not in my hand. Cell phones, They're big, they're bulky, don't necessarily look like a firearm. However, there are people that have made little one-shot firearms that look like things that could be a cell phone.
There's actually a firearm on the market that looks like a firearm, looks like a cell phone, that is basically for concealed carry.
Right.
So
now,
I also don't like that his hands. I don't like the position of his hands. I also don't like that he's leaning back.
Right.
It almost looks like he's leaning back too much. His hands should be on the roof, and they should be flat up on the roof, and he should be, at this point, you guys are just running from the police. If I don't hear yes sir, no sir, I don't know who, I'm sorry, but that might help.
Yeah, it could. And you know, I do think that the passenger here, and we'll play this more a little bit, I do commend him for, first thing he does is, he says, I have something to tell you. The officer says, what? And then he lets him know that he does have a firearm in his pocket. At this point, the officer is going to tell him to put his phone down. To me, it gets a little bit messy. And this is where I kind of hold the officer at fault a little bit for it getting messy, because he starts giving him conflicting commands.
Okay, let's play it. Let's hear it.
Gun.
He's loaded.
Keep your fucking hands up! Don't move! Put your phone down. Just give me your phone.
Here.
Just don't move! Put your hands up!
Okay, pause it. So I missed that in the first time.
So did I the first time, and then when we watched it together a couple of times. And here's where he gave him too many commands. It's don't move, put your phone down,
give me your phone,
don't move.
Right. You're gonna if you're a police officer, you're gonna confuse people by, what do you want me to do? And here's where
that was 4 commands in about a second.
Yeah. Now I guess I didn't notice this in the first place. And I'm gonna say this, and it's not to be mean or rude or anybody else, but I have to look at this individual. I'm looking at the clothes. That doesn't, I mean, do you own a pair of jeans like that?
No.
I know it's a trend, but if you're going to, I don't like the way he looks.
No, and whether it's right or wrong, an officer is going to make a snap judgment based on your appearance.
Yeah, I mean, if I saw that person out and about, I'm sorry, but he's not wearing. It's not like he's wearing nice slacks and a t-shirt, or those are pretty ripped up jeans, and he's running around, running from the police in this.
Right.
The guy next to him has a lot better pair of pants on.
Right.
Just saying.
But what's to say this guy, doesn't work some sort of labor job or for a surrounding farm, and he's just getting off of work, and he's not going to wear his nice jeans to a labor job or something like that.
Those look like pretty ripped up jeans.
Yeah, these jeans have seen better days. You look at them, they look even quite dirty. So now here, I want to ask you.
It's time to retire those pants.
So outside of him, I want to ask you something here that we haven't talked about, because I just kind of noticed this because we happen to freeze it on this frame right here.
Okay.
What do you think about this officer's finger placement and gun placement?
Oh shoot, yeah. Okay, so he is not prepared to shoot here. Okay, I kind of like this. I actually kind of like this. Good job, officer. Good job,
very
officer.
Good.
At this point, I don't see a threat. A cell phone isn't a threat. I think that you established that. I think there was a little bit of moving around, and what he did was he adjusted his finger off the trigger. He is not on the trigger. That's a clear Glock.
You can see the very bottom of his finger right here, which is what we tell people as well. Until you're ready to fire, you run it right up above the trigger guard, and so a couple of things I like about this. Not only has he moved his finger from the trigger,
right,
which again hopped up on adrenaline, I'm sure.
Right.
He now has this pointing more down. If he has his finger on the trigger and something happens, what's to say he doesn't negligent discharge into his own leg? So the other thing I like is you can see his left arm looks pretty outstretched. Now, this guy is a tall guy, so he's got some pretty good reach, I think.
Right.
But there's still some distance there. He has this gun pulled back towards him more, pointed down. I'm betting this guy couldn't reach that gun if he wanted to. And if he could, in this position, millisecond to lift it up and fire if he had to.
Well, he also has his non-gun hand forward,
Right.
so that could also be used to SWAT and to
Right.
help defend. So I like the officer's position. I like the way he's sitting. I like the way he's at. The driver is at this point looking forward, and he has that "what have I done" look.
He's got his eyes on this officer, and you can see right here, this officer has his gun aimed directly at the driver.
Now I don't
Look, he moved his finger from the trigger. It looks like he might be running along the side of it right now.
He very well could be. Now I don't like the positioning of the officers here, because if that driver does something and that guy has to shoot, going through the front windshield can possibly make that bullet fly to the other officer. So I don't like that they didn't slice the pie.
I don't think he'd be going through the windshield here. I think he'd be going through the driver door. But he'd also be taking the driver door at a steep angle, which means that first shot or two may just ricochet off and go this way away from the vehicle.
And that might get the driver to get it in gear, and then that would put the front windshield into play.
Well, if he went in reverse, which is the only direction he could go. Now here's the good thing, because at this point they've established there's a gun in the vehicle.
Right.
And passenger said he has it in his pocket, in a holster in his pocket. If something was to happen and a firearm was discharged, I can almost guarantee that in this situation, neither of these two would be going home.
Yeah.
I think at this point, if there was a discharge because driver did something stupid and this officer had to fire, or passenger did something stupid and this officer had to fire, I think they would both be unloaded on.
You picked a really good freeze frame here.
Yeah, just by chance.
That's damn lucky, because you get a really good insight of firearm position, where his firearm is. You can see he's wrapped around that grip he has a pretty good grip.
Yeah, he's got a solid grip on that.
And then you could see the other police officer with them, and I will tell you, the passenger is, what have you gotten me into?
Right.
That look is I'm not it's a pre-angry look.
Yeah.
It's the I'm so disappoined that this is happening.
And it's kind of a how the fuck did this happen look.
Yeah, that was like, how did we get to this point? Where did this come from?
So yeah, some background story on it is the passenger was going to pick up a vehicle. Sounds like he was purchasing a vehicle from a private party or somewhere, and the driver is someone that, I don't know how well he knows him, but was giving him a ride to that. So he thought he was just going across the state line into Minnesota to purchase a vehicle, and Dum here driving decided to go really, really fast and run from police.
So I hope he wasn't an Uber or a ride share.
Negative 20 stars.
You're not getting stars from me.
So, and I wish I could zoom in on this just to get a better look at his finger placement, because I don't know for sure if he's extended or if he does have it wrapped around in the trigger guard on the trigger.
So that looks like that's his offhand. So it looks like we're seeing this side of it. So you're seeing this arm. I'm almost willing to bet his finger is probably still on the trigger, because I think right now the threat still is the vehicle. We don't know if the engine's turned off. If it's turned off, we don't know how long it could take and get going. So, okay, let's go.
So, and the other thing with this is, unless he's got a real stubby index finger, looking at that more, I think he does have to have it wrapped around inside the trigger guard.
Yeah.
We're going to let this play a little bit more just to see how this section ends.
Get your hands up! Touch the ceiling!
I got you.
Okay?
I got you.
Still don't move!
Here.
I'm gonna take your seatbelt off.
Yeah. Here, get it. Get it
Where's
out of my pocket.
Woo!
It's in a holster. I have a valid CCW.
I like here that he's being
Don't know
compliant,
nothing about
shifting
this.
so that the officer can get to it.
Yes, sir. I was just
It's right here, Ryan. I got it.
Still don't move. Do not fucking move. I mean it.
Okay, pause it right here.
I'm gonna try to unload
Okay.
it quicker.
I don't like that.
So let's back up just a little bit here to where he's disarming him.
I'm
It's in
okay
a
with the
holster.
disarming.
I have a valid CCW. I don't know nothing about this.
Do not move.
Yes, sir. I was just
It's right here, Ryan. I got it.
Still don't move. Do not
Okay,
fucking
pause
move.
it. I don't. I don't know how you go from calm to screaming again. Okay, I don't get that. And now that I removed it, I'm going to go ahead and start yelling and cussing at the guy too. I'm not a fan of police officers cussing. I'm not. You're.
And as we talked, in any interaction like this, it's up to the police officer to be the professional.
Correct, and I don't think I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do
You
that,
want to
but
be the professional?
no, I didn't want to be the criticizing of the police officers in this.
Now, I think that, again, it's the police officer that needs to be the professional. I also think that we're all human. They just had a big adrenaline dump. They're hyped up.
Yeah.
And at this point, they still haven't secured the two parties in the vehicle. Here's my concern.
But you got away. But you got the firearm out of there. If that was a threat, now the threat's over. And then you're gonna.
That's the next immediate. To me, that's the next immediate threat. We don't know if they have knives on. We don't. The driver hasn't said anything. We don't know if he has a firearm on him.
Right.
Here's my concern with this, and I just picked this up as you told me to stop it there. My concern is this officer that we thought was doing a great job with how he was handling that up close and personal.
Yeah.
Now he's looking in this direction back towards his cruiser.
Right.
Has his firearm pointed in this direction and down, so not where he's looking.
Okay.
Has another firearm in his hand, and he appears to be walking back towards the front of his cruiser. So he no longer has any semblance of control of the passenger. He's relying on this officer that's still in his cruiser to now cover both of them through glass.
Right.
In a vehicle that we still don't know if it's completely disabled.
So what's to stop the passenger from bailing and running?
Right. Because if he bails and runs,
shit.
even or if he pulls out another gun, let's just say he has another gun on him, decides fuck this. So here's the problem. He probably doesn't have a good line of sight to the passenger.
No.
Not with the driver there with the angle that he's got. Even if he does, he's got to fire through glass.
Right.
And this officer doesn't have a line of sight into the vehicle. To me, he should have turned and backed away so he can see what's happening in the vehicle.
He took the eyes off the prize.
Right. And if he is taking that firearm that he obtained, the one here in his left hand, to put it on the hood of his vehicle so that it's out of the way and at least semi-secured, if this vehicle is still able to run and they put it in drive, we've now got an officer sandwich.
Yeah. And those aren't good sandwiches.
No. So let's let this go a little bit further.
Good stop.
I mean it.
Okay, so he does stay off to the side more.
Do
I think
not
he realized
move.
it. Yeah.
You keep them hands up, both of you.
So he clears it?
That's fine. I don't give a shit.
Let you know.
Get out.
Hey,
I don't like the cussing.
I got you.
Get out. I
That's
want you
not
to lay on the
professional.
fucking road
I
right
got you.
there.
I got you.
Lay on the road.
I'm just a pass.
Okay, so right there, I think he does do a good job of putting hands on, but not in a violent way or
agree.
aggressive way. He just takes him by the wrist. It sounds like the passenger says he has an issue with his arm, and he kind of loosens it up a little bit, and he's willingly getting out of the vehicle, so he just kind of guides him there to in between the vehicles and puts him down on his belly to secure him.
But the problem here is, how is this officer screaming and his physical nature seems so calm?
Right. He goes from 0 to like 500 in a split second, then back down to 0.
It's like that. Let's crank that knob. It's like he's sitting in there and he's revving that engine as much. I don't get that.
He's got two modes.
Because he looks very calm.
Right. He's got two modes, either 0 or full on.
And I don't know if I like that now.
But either way, I think that the situation, I can forgive some profanity, some shouting. I think he's trying to do the right thing here.
He's dropped the F-bomb a little more than I think professionally should be done.
The one over here is dropping the F-bomb a lot more. I think that's a lot of the F-bombs that you're hearing.
That very well could be, and I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of that.
I love the F-bomb personally.
Well, but
in the right situation.
Can you
I don't
say
drop
it
the
at work?
F-bomb at work.
Can you accidentally do it at work?
No.
If you accidentally do, if you drop the F-bomb at work, are you going to have a job the next day?
It depends on who I'm talking to. I typically don't talk to customers, so.
Okay, so if you're on the, let's say if someone on your team was talking to a customer and they spilled a drink on their lap and oh fuck, and the customer heard it, they're pretty much fired.
From previous experience at where we work, something similar to that has happened. Normally something like that, it gets listened to, broken apart, get the employee side of the story, maybe a little bit of a write-up. I've seen where someone's been suspended for a week or two.
Okay.
If it's something where it's happened before, then yeah, they may be gone, probably gone.
If they dropped it a few times?
Well, if they've done it in the past, so it's a reoccurring thing.
What if it was in the same phone call and they said it a couple times in there?
Well, and again, is it spaced out or is it they spill their hot coffee on their lap? No, fuck, 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 fuck!
Okay.
To me, that's one utterance of the word. Several times, but it's one utterance because it's
when you're at work, you're supposed to be professional,
right?
And if you can't be professional at a high stress job, maybe that job isn't for you, and that's fine. A lot of people can't do that job.
Now, the other thing I'll say is a lot of the times the F-bomb is used as an expletive to, hey, I mean this.
I understand that, but I'm not a fan of our law enforcement cursing at civilians. I don't care.
There's also a difference between this and you're walking down the street, hey, you come over here. What the fuck are you doing?
Okay, I get that, but I think taking a breath here.
Right.
Now, don't tell the cop to do that.
No.
Never, when a cop is starting to just say, you need to take a time out.
Yeah.
Don't do that because you're going to piss them off.
Don't look at the officer and say, Mr. Officer, I think you need to count to 10.
Yeah. Probably not.
No.
Never in the history of anything has telling someone to calm down actually made them calm down.
So,
okay.
So, and in this situation, I can forgive it because it is a high stress situation. They're all hopped up on adrenaline.
You can. I don't think I can.
Would I have rather him not used it as much? Probably.
At this point, we got one person out of the car. At this point, it really looks like they're complying.
Right. Right.
They may have not complied, but now at their point, they're like, we're screwed. Now let's comply. Now you're cursing at them.
Right. You can see the driver still has his hands up. Other one is on his belly between the two vehicles. Let's get this rolling a little bit more.
Lay down!
I got you.
Put your arms behind your back.
I don't know shit. My wife is good. Oh, man. I'm just going to pick up a car.
Hey, man, we can work through this.
Yeah, I know. But
See, he's very calm. How's he?
Right. He goes from, don't fucking move to, we can work through this. It's okay.
This is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde here. I mean, how do you go from one extreme to the other like that so fast?
Yeah, it's light switch.
Okay.
On off.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I still don't like that tire pointing that way.
Well, now if he goes in, he's going to run his buddy over.
Get up.
That's some friend anyway.
Hell of a friend to begin with doing all this.
Get out. Give me your other hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get out.
Yes, sir. I'm coming.
Get out.
Now this guy not so gentle because he was the driver. And,
So, okay, why didn't they just have him get out of the car?
well,
He went in the car after him.
he couldn't get out the driver's side.
No, but I would have
because
made him.
This door isn't open. I don't think they wanted to take the chance of him grabbing at all of this shit that's all over the place, or reaching in here. And it's not, I've got an SUV that's set up similar to this. When you have this console here and all this other stuff, it's not exactly easy to climb over that. And I think they wanted him out of the vehicle as quick as possible. Plus, I think he's the one responsible for this whole chase.
I understand that, but if I were going to get in there, the first thing I would do before I grab him is I'd grab that arm and I would take the keys. Just because that eliminates, if he even starts to fight with me or anything in there, I have the keys. So, okay.
Well, and here's my counterpoint to that. If I'm grabbing this arm and then my other arm's going for the keys, he still has his left arm free if he wants to fight with me. And at this point, I'm really assuming that the vehicle is completely disabled.
Okay.
So for him to do anything, he's going to have to turn the ignition. But he does grab the left arm or the right arm of the driver and then tells him, give me your other arm. And then it's just a matter of, I'm pulling you out.
Okay, let's see him pull him out.
And he isn't gentle with dumping him on the ground.
Yeah, let's.
Which I don't blame.
You know about a gun.
No,
That's
sir.
the adrenaline
Give me
talking
your other
about.
hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get out.
Yes, sir. I'm coming.
Get out.
Yes, sir. I'm coming.
And there is another unit on the scene now at this point. That's where this other officer comes in.
Sir, may I say that this is not his fault?
So here's pause it right here, because I want to say something here. Back on us here, Mikey. I don't like cold. I'm never going to be in that situation because that means they're going to throw my ass in snow. That's cold. No. Don't do that. I don't like cold. You're going to have a face full of snow. You're blowing a snowman.
I'm not going to be in this situation because
I'm
not
not
going to
running.
run from the police like that.
True.
I'm not going to give them a reason to put me in this situation, cold or not.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you know what the other thing I don't like? Really hot. And if this was in the middle of summer, that could be real hot right there too.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
Hot pavement on your face sucks.
yes. So here's I think.
So
this
only
is-
run from the cops in the spring and the fall.
No, don't run from the cops.
Just kidding,
We're
guys.
not saying that. Now, here's the other reason why I think they were a little bit more aggressive with going in and getting him out is they did have at least one officer show up here as backup. This is a third officer. We still have the initial one that did the pit maneuver in his vehicle and the deputy that we've been watching that took the passenger out.
Yep.
So they've got three, and I think they kind of felt it's a little bit safer with three of us here now to yank him out and
Yeah, yeah. I'm good with that. All right, let's see him cuff him up.
yeah.
I know, sir. And that's how we can work through this, but
No, that guy said I get a
Now
bullet.
they're being nice again.
I don't need a bullet.
I said if you move, you'll get a bullet. Was I not clear enough?
So
Okay, I have a problem with
yes,
that.
so do I. If you move, you'll get a bullet.
He's in handcuffs now.
He's
You've
not really
disarmed
going anywhere.
him. He is not really a threat. And even if he moves, that doesn't constitute deadly force.
No.
That's a threat.
Right. Now, I understand it's in the heat of the moment, but at the same time,
Who's
that
the
person-
professional?
Well, right. Who's the professional? And let's back up just a little bit so we can see how they are on the ground and see if I can get a good pause in here again.
I know.
Right there. So he is spread leg between two vehicles, hands cuffed behind his back. He's also, like I mentioned before, he's fairly tall,
Right.
which means he's got long limbs here.
Right.
If you want to see how hard it is to get up from this position without using your hands, go ahead and pause this, lay down on your stomach. You don't even have to be handcuffed. Just put your hands in that position and try
Yeah.
and get to your feet,
Put your hands like this behind your back, hold them together, and try and get up.
because you've got to roll over onto your butt and then try and get up onto your feet, which still isn't easy without the assistance of your hands.
In snow.
Right. So let's
Sir.
go here a little more.
And that's how we can work through this, but
No, that guy said I get a bullet. I don't need a bullet.
I said if you move, you'll get a bullet. Was I not clear enough with you?
It's not.
So that was two threats, actually.
Well, no, he said it once. The guy said, "I don't need a bullet," and then he tells him what he said. Because I think the guy took it as, "You're going to shoot me right now." Because the passer in this is pretty scared shitless as
Right.
it goes farther. We're not going to watch the entirety of this because it does have a lot of time left, and we're running really long.
And that will happen, so
Right.
bear with us. Sorry.
Rude?
So
You just drove all over the place.
No, sir, that was me, sir. That was me, sir.
Think of the circumstances here before you speak. Thank you.
You don't need to
please double up. I did not search him, obviously, but
There's a wallet in my back right pocket.
okay, we're gonna help you up on your knees here,
there's
okay?
all sorts of them flying now.
Yeah.
Do you need EMS at all?
No, sir.
You're okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any weapons?
No, sir. I believe there's a lighter in my pocket. pocket. That'd be about it.
Any other
Did you
guns
say
in the car?
warrant?
Any other people in the back of the car?
Do you have any weapons?
Oh, okay.
No, sir. There was no one. This was not his decision. This was me, sir.
Okay, and I respect that. I'll have you step up.
I don't like the other guy moving
Okay.
so much, though.
I am on bond.
There's a
Bullets on
lot
his
of.
stomach?
Yeah. He's moving around quite a bit.
You don't have to answer that. That's fine.
He's moving, but again, he's not going to go anywhere. I think he's probably trying to get
While the
comfortable
deputy
with
was
where he
standing
is.
by the open door, he detected a strong odor of marijuana emitting from inside.
Hang on. Get him out of the way, Mike. His car is clearly still in fucking gear.
No, sir. It's in park.
You out in the park?
Yes, sir. It is in park.
Okay. Come back here, bud. I didn't search him at all, Mike.
That means
He
it was
had a
still
gun in
running.
his pocket.
No, it can be disabled and still be in gear. If that hit killed the engine,
Oh, okay. Okay. We can't hear the engine,
Right.
so we don't actually know if the car is running or not. Okay, keep going.
and he said it's in gear. I think if it was running, I think he probably would have said that it's running.
Okay, you're probably right. Okay.
So now they have the driver, and they're taking him off, and
And
they
that
smell
guy's just
marijuana in
chilling.
the vehicle. Yeah,
That guy's just chilling.
he's like, cool. Well, he's getting ready to back up so that they can get in and search the vehicle, I believe, because
Okay.
they said there was the scent of marijuana. Again, if you're carrying a firearm, you don't want to be anywhere around drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
So
Just stay
let's
right
get
here.
this going
Yes,
a little bit more.
He's the one that had the gun in his pocket. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure you don't have anything in your waistline. Anything in your shorts?
No, sir. They're just plain basketball shorts.
Yeah, just pockets, right?
Yes, sir. This.
And notice how quickly the driver de-escalates things. He's everything is no sir. yes.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Should have done that. I don't know.
should have done that when they first turned the lights on.
This is stupid. That was my
And
decision.
that's tight. He's squeezing through there.
Very stupid. Put ourselves
Maybe he
in
should've gotten
other
out the
people
passenger
at
side.
risk, man. Come on.
I think that sheriff's vehicle may be disabled.
Anything you
It's
don't
very
know?
could be.
The two vapes
And that was a good
in the
impact.
cup holder are mine.
Okay, the one with weed in them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me take a seat.
Tell me you didn't run over weed.
No, sir. I ran because I don't have a license and I'm out on bond.
I'll have you sit down, but
Oh.
So that right there, no license and out on bond. Which, again, at worst, they would have arrested you and taken your bond. Now
Yeah.
you're looking at a bunch of other charges. And there's no way you're bonding out now.
Yeah, don't. I mean, if you were cool with the cops that pulled you over, and say I don't have a driver's license, and the other guy says, well, I do. I could drive for him. They might have said, okay, you can't drive. If I catch you behind the wheel.
I think either way he was going because he was also out on bond.
Yeah.
But
well,
no,
if he's out on bond, that
right.
means he's out.
But yeah, if he would have pulled over right away and been upfront with the officers, then yeah, that very easily could have been a situation where it's okay, you're out on bond. I'm gonna let it slide because all you're doing is driving without a license. You pulled over right away.
Right.
I'll cite you for that because that's really just a traffic violation anyway.
You get a ticket.
And the other guy says, hey, I can drive.
Speeding ticket, no driver's license. It's two tickets.
Right.
2 tickets.
Yeah,
And then the other guy says, oh, I could drive, and then they could be on their way.
right.
Everybody's happy. Everybody's,
Neither of those are going to be something that would revoke your bond.
I don't think so. Not traffic generally. Traffic does not revoke a bond normally. So
Unless it gets to something like this,
right.
which is way beyond basic traffic.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
But
He admitted to everything.
just, once you're in there, kick your feet this way. I just want to make sure you don't have anything in your socks or anything like that.
No, sir, just an anklet.
Is there
Ankle
any
monitor.
chance you would grab the jacket out of the back seat?
Sure.
The Milwaukee one?
Anklet. Is that what you're on bond with or what?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my legs.
Do you need EMS or anything?
I don't feel any pain,
Okay,
though.
you can flip on in. You're probably just cold.
Adrenaline and
A
cold.
lot of adrenaline running through. I'll throw this on for you, okay, bud?
Is it okay if I sit sideways? Because I'm so tall, I'm like,
Oh, yeah, whatever's better for you.
okay.
So I'll just leave that off then, because obviously you can't sit sideways then, and you won't fit, so. Accidentally racked around out of my... Worried about his ride.
Dude, just hang tight, okay?
Yeah, I know.
I got your coat there. Just hang out.
And just so you know, everything's
kinda
recorded
still
in here, so
aggressive
don't
there a
say you're
little
doing anything
bit.
stupid.
I have no.
A little
I'm
bit,
not
but
going to disrespect.
We don't know
you,
how
sir.
far away he was
Appreciate it.
from him when he was saying that, so.
Good. You good? He has ankle.
I don't like that they go hot and cold.
So I think because we are quite long, I don't think we're going to watch this through to the end because
Okay.
there is still another 8-9 minutes left in this.
Okay.
Good news is all the officers were okay. No one was injured.
That's good.
The occupants of this white GMC, neither of them had any injuries.
Good.
So as dumb as they are, I'm glad they didn't have any injuries. Or I shouldn't say as dumb as they are. As dumb as the driver was.
Yeah.
Kind of the way this wraps up is the passenger doesn't have anything on him as far as wants warrants. He's completely cooperating with them. They end up giving him his sidearm back, take him to the next town to a gas station so he can call for a ride.
Preferably someone that doesn't run from the police.
Right. Yeah, the driver goes to jail. Let me kind of go through here and see if it gives us what he goes to jail for. Here towards the end. Here it is.
There we go.
All right, let's pull this up.
3 open cases. Ultimately, a month later, he pled guilty to vehicle fleeing, eluding an officer. All his other charges were dismissed
Let's
on the
back
prosecutor's
up
motion.
to see the other charge.
Bail jumping, ×2. Misdemeanor.
Right, so
Fuck,
there we
man,
go. So
like,
this'll-
you just fucking screwed me.
this is them giving the passenger a
Afterward,
ride.
it was determined the pursuit spanned 11.5 miles.
All right, get ready to pause it.
Jordan was charged with felony counts of vehicle fleeing, eluding
Stop
an
it there.
officer.
So, vehicle fleeing, eluding an officer, possession of THC, second offense.
So
You don't
pot
learn
is
the
not
first
legal
time.
there.
Yep. And bail jumping ×2.
Right. So he's not getting back out of jail.
Yeah, that bond, there's that bond revoked.
Yep. And I don't know of even if a court did give him bond, it's going to be high. And I don't know of a bail bondsman that would take a chance on this.
Yeah. Those
So-
charges would probably have gone down had he just cooperated.
Yeah. Had he cooperated, I don't even know that they'd have got him on the THC. They may have smelled it and searched the vehicle, but
And if it was a little roach or something, just throwing it out.
well,
yeah.
it was 2 vapes that he had, is what it was.
Okay, I'm gonna confiscate your vapes,
Right.
and the vapes. I've seen people with those vapes.
Right. Well,
They're not that much THC. It's not
No,
like
and-
he's carrying pounds of marijuana across the border.
Right.
It's not like a drug mule here.
Right, and we've all heard stories about that cool cop that, all right, just dump your alcohol on the side of the road, or
Yeah. All right.
because cops are people doing it. Normally, if you're cool with them, they're going to be cool with you.
Yeah. Except for these guys because they go
Right.
hot
No,
and cold.
yeah.
I don't know. All
Well,
right.
this was 11.5 miles at high speed. They kind of had a reason to. But let's kind of see the end here.
Possession of THC, second offense. Bail jumping, ×2. Misdemeanor counts of operating without a valid license, third one within 3 years, and bail jumping. At the time, he was out on 3 bonds for 3 open cases.
Damn.
Ultimately, a month later,
He doesn't know how to
pled
obey the
guilty
law.
to vehicle fleeing, eluding an officer. All his other charges were dismissed on the prosecutor's motion. He was given 3 years probation with conditions of no possession, consumption of alcohol, or controlled substances. His
Okay,
driver's
pause it
li-
here.
Yeah, I was going to. So, 3 years probation with conditions: no consumption or possession of drugs or alcohol. And now here's what pisses me off to no end when I see stuff like this.
What the hell 6 months revoke driver's license to do? He don't have it in the
Right.
first place.
Do you think it mattered to him here?
No.
So
Criminals are criminals here.
and 3 years probation with no consumption or possession of drugs or alcohol. Do you think he's gonna follow that?
Yeah. Obviously, he was abiding by the law for not driving when he didn't have a driver's license.
No, I hope it's a wake up call for him.
No.
But he's, what'd they say? Third offense for a couple of things and
31
out on 3 different bails,
31 days of jail credit.
which means he didn't go home. He stayed until this went to trial.
So he stayed in jail for 31 days,
Right.
and then he got out on probation.
Mm-hmm.
He served a month
Right.
for damn near causing accidents, could have killed somebody.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't like this. I don't think. Did you see the length of the charges there? I don't get that.
Now, none of them were violent charges. Now, we don't know what he was out on bail for, But still, this is someone that he is habitual. I think he's established that he is a habitual criminal. It's someone that they need to maybe say, you need something more than a timeout.
That's what they gave him. They gave him a 30-day timeout.
In the jail world,
for a felony.
In the criminal world, they gave him a 30-day timeout and you're grounded to the house essentially if it was with your kid for a period of time.
There have been people that have been arrested for possession of marijuana that served 5 years. This guy has it on him along with a string of other charges, and it's 30 days. I'm sorry.
Now, those people probably had more than 2 vapes of it, but yeah, I've just got a problem in general with when someone becomes habitual and you keep giving the little slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a year in jail will change his mind about his life choices.
Yeah.
So let's kind
License was revoked
run
for
this
6 months
through.
and was also given 31 days of jail credit. All of his traffic citations totaled over $2,500.
That's
Again,
gonna hurt.
the prosecutor moved to dismiss all citations, except for one which was operating with a restricted controlled substance.
So yeah, that was courtesy of Code Blue Cam. I do want to give them a shout out because oftentimes to get this footage, you do have to pay for it.
FOIA requests, things of that nature. There's a lot of stuff that goes through there.
Right.
I don't know.
Overall, what would you give we'll go back to school.
Okay.
A through F, A, B, C, D, F.
All right.
What grade would you give the officers involved as a whole unit?
As a whole unit, I think they get a C.
Okay. I was thinking a B.
Okay.
I'm a little bit more lenient with how I've been in high stress situations where you get the adrenaline pump and you can go a little bit sideways with it. I don't think they went sideways to the point where they were crossing any lines.
When you have someone in handcuffs and you say, if you move, I'm going to give you a
check out
bullet.
our great selection of
And
quality
then
made
you
merch.
threaten to... You're basically threatening to kill him.
That is the one area, and that was the officer that wasn't involved in the chase.
I know.
So...
That... I don't know. I don't like the way the officer moved. So I think he put his own life in danger a few times.
And I'm with you there. I think overall I'd still give it a B. I don't think it was, and we've got some here that are much worse. That as much as I don't want to call the police out for things they did, I think that it's also fair for us to look at this and be able to critique how they handled the situation and what they did.
Now, the driver gets
he gets an F.
Yeah,
I don't care how compliant he was at the end. Everything he did up to that point when he knew he was boned,
he failed.
He gets an F.
He has to have an F. Now, the passenger, I give a B.
Okay, and I would give the passenger an A. So
okay.
I'm a little bit more lenient with you. I just liked how the passenger, he was calm. He instantly let the officer know that he had the gun, where it was, and he complied with everything they wanted him to do. With the exception of where that mix-up was, where it was 4 commands in a second.
Which is why I gave the officers a C there too. I think that could put that little mistake could have caused confusion, and if he moved a little bit too fast and one of the officers didn't quite know what was going on, or he wasn't paying attention, or he was so busy, or he was so amped up that he had that tunnel vision going, and they just happened to look over as something was coming down, that's why the officers get a C, because I think there was a bit of miscommunication, and I don't like that they can go, yeah, I'm going to cut you a break. I just don't like that.
And my B isn't a flat B. It'd be a B minus.
Okay.
But
and I'm probably a C plus.
Right.
So we're pretty close.
There were some issues on both ends, but I think that was a good example with the passenger side on whether you're driving or you're with your buddy and he's being stupid, how to handle that situation when you are carrying a firearm and the police get involved.
I still have to go by my original thought on this is don't get yourself in these situations in the first place. But
you never know how your dumbass buddy might drive and what he might do.
I'm sure, I'm almost positive there's a conversation in that car. I'm out on bond. I don't have a driver's license.
Right.
I'm going to go to jail. Fine. Slow down. I'll roll out.
Yeah.
You
I'll
be
jump
you.
I'll jump, tuck, and roll.
Yeah. You let me out of this goddamn car. I want to say, if I was that passenger, I want out of that car.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he did. But the problem is, are you going to jump out of a vehicle at 100 plus miles an hour?
Here's my problem. I'm the one in the car with a gun.
Right.
Here's what it looks like to me. At that point, if I'm saying I need you to let me out and you don't let me out, you're now kidnapping me.
Right.
That's a felony. And if you're going to put my life in danger going 120 miles an hour, the minute you slow down and I say stop and let me out and you start to try to gun it, you might not be my friend anymore.
I don't think he's his friend anymore anyway.
I won't go to your funeral, let me put it that way.
Now, one thing that it did turn out here is with the phone, they asked him why it was, what was going on with the phone, and he said that he was scared and recording it. He did willingly show all of his recording to the police. He didn't have anything prior to where they got pitted out.
Oh.
Because they did ask him, and he went through and showed them all the video and what was on video right before that. Because if he did, they definitely wanted that so they could get an idea as to what was happening in the vehicle.
Right.
Because that is a good case where if he said, I went out of this vehicle now, and his buddy said, fuck no, I'm not stopping, then you do, and it's on video like that, you do have a potential case for kidnapping. And
yeah, I just have to go. You can't pick your family. Sorry,
right.
Can't do it. But you can pick your friends and you can pick your nose. But you never pick your friend's nose.
Yeah.
And then don't pick this friend.
No, and we've all made bad choices in friends.
Oh yeah, we've
hopefully
been young
not that bad.
Yeah, I haven't.
No, I haven't either. Although I do have to. The only thing I have to say about the driver, other than he gets an F minus, is I do have to give him some props in that he manned up and said it was all me. He had nothing to do with it.
Let's be honest with you. If he tried to put me, if I was in that situation and he tried to put anything on me, wait till you get your ass out of jail.
But no,
you're gonna let me catch charges for your bullshit?
Right.
I'm
probably gonna want to beat his ass after he gets out of jail anyway, just for the shit that he pulled. But I do have to give him props because you don't see that a lot. Because normally someone like that, they're trying to duck as much as they can. He manned up, said it's all me. He had nothing to do with it. Didn't know anything about it.
I don't think he had a choice. He knows his buddy carries.
Well, yeah. And the other nice thing is that made it real easy for the police because they're like, okay, everything we got, we're just going to wrap it up on him. Don't have to worry about investigating and trying to figure out who was what and extra reports.
So what the fuck is the point? Because they dropped all the charges.
Yeah. Let them
if they're guilty,
and give them a slap on the hand.
If they're guilty with it, then if you play the game, you play the game.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah, and if that's a year in jail because this is what you got, then so be it.
Yeah.
Don't do it again, and you won't get. Do not commit a crime, and you don't get in trouble. That's simple.
Mm-hmm. So we are way long on time here. I don't even know what we're at. Probably an hour 20, hour 25.
Good show, though.
Yep. Apologize for it going so long. Hopefully you stayed through until the end or paused it and put it on your watch list so you can watch it a little bit later. Definitely want to thank you for watching this. If you like this type of idea, please comment. Let us know. Don't forget about the giveaway in YouTube. Comment, like, subscribe, share. Get yourself some merch before it's released on the merch shop.
Yep.
Any closing comments, Michael?
Yeah, don't be stupid.
I think that is the lesson for the day.
Yeah. Don't be stupid. And don't have stupid friends.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, take care. Thank you for watching.
Shoot straight, but not at cops.
No. Don't shoot crooked at cops either. Just don't shoot at cops. Or other people unless you have to.
Good advice.
All right.
All right.
We'll talk to you later, everyone.
We're out.